Hello class 7 students, welcome everyone. So today in this video we are going to discuss about chemical change. Okay, in the previous video we have discussed about the physical changes, physical properties, all of the things we have discussed, right? Today we'll begin from chemical change. So what is chemical change? First of all, those changes in which new substances are formed are called chemical changes. Here in chemical changes, new substances are formed. Okay, new substances are formed. New substances with new properties are formed in case of chemical changes. Okay, so the properties of new substances formed in chemical changes are entirely different from those of the original substances, and during a chemical change a substance undergoes a change in its chemical composition or change in chemical properties. Okay, chemical changes are also called as chemical reactions. Remember, chemical changes are also called as chemical reactions. Okay. So these chemical changes are what? Permanent changes. Physical changes were temporary changes. Chemical changes are permanent. Okay, permanent changes. Okay, and these changes cannot be reversed. Cannot be reversed. Physical changes can be reversed, right? But chemical changes cannot be reversed. Clear? Okay, and a lot of energy in the form of heat, light, sound, etc. is either absorbed or given out in case of chemical changes. So what are the characteristics of chemical changes? See, the first characteristic is what? One or more new substances are formed in case of a chemical change. That means new substances are formed in case of chemical changes. Okay, chemical changes are permanent changes. Okay, and chemical changes cannot be reversed. Usually it cannot be reversed. And third number characteristic is what? A lot of energy is in the form of heat, light, etc. is either absorbed or given out in case of chemical change, right? Sound can also be produced in case of chemical change. Okay, change in smell may also take place in case of chemical change. If there is a possibility of change in smell, or say a new smell can be given off in case of a chemical change. Okay, then a change in color may also take place in case of a chemical change. Okay, a gas may also be formed in case of a chemical change. Lots of examples are there. Okay, these are some of the characteristics of chemical change. Remember, during a chemical change, substance undergoes a change in its chemical composition or chemical properties, and the properties of the new substances are formed, right? In case of chemical change, new substances are formed, right? So the properties of the new substances which is formed in a chemical change or in a chemical reaction are completely or entirely different from those of the original substances. Okay, the properties of the new substances are very different to that of the properties of the original substances. Clear? Okay, chemical change. What is given in your book? A change with which you are quite familiar is the rusting of iron. This is the example of a chemical change, rusting of iron. Right. So if you leave a piece of iron in the open for some time, it acquires a film of brownish substance. This substance is called rust, and the process is called rusting. Okay, if you leave an iron article in an open air for some time, then after some days it will acquire a reddish brown substance, which is called as a layer of reddish brown substance will be formed over it, which is called as rust, and this process is called rusting of iron. Okay, so iron gates of parks or farmlands, iron benches which is kept in the lawns and gardens, almost every article of iron which is kept in the open gets rusted. Okay, at your home you must have seen shovels and spades which is getting rusted when exposed to the atmosphere for some time. Okay, in the kitchen, a wet iron pan or say tawa, it often gets rusted if left in that state for some time. Okay, so actually this rust is not actually iron. Okay, it is very different from iron on which it gets deposited. It is not actually iron. Okay, it is very different to that of the iron. So then what is rust then? Rust is actually a chemical compound. What is it? Iron oxide. Okay, what is it? Iron oxide. We'll discuss these things in detail in this section. Yes, rusting of iron is there, right? So in this section we'll discuss this, what is rust, in detail. Okay, for now you just remember that rust is a chemical compound. What is the name of that chemical compound? Iron oxide. Okay, now let us consider a few more changes where new substances are formed. Okay, activity 6.6. Activity 6.6, what you have to take in this activity? You have to take a magnesium ribbon. Okay, this activity refers to burning of magnesium ribbon. Okay, so magnesium, first of all, magnesium, get a small piece of thin strip or ribbon of magnesium. What is magnesium actually? Magnesium is a metal. What is it? It is a metal. Magnesium is a metal which burns easily on heating. It burns very easily on heating, and a long thin strip of magnesium metal is called magnesium ribbon. Okay, so see what happens actually here. When a magnesium ribbon is heated, it burns in air. And it will produce, as soon as it burns, right, it produces a white light. It produces a dazzling flame of white light. Okay, and then after completion of burning, then it will form a powdery ash. Which is called as magnesium oxide. So what is given in this activity? Get a small piece of thin strip or magnesium ribbon of magnesium, clean its tip with sandpaper, bring the tip near a candle flame. It burns with a brilliant white light. Okay, dazzling flame, brilliant white light. So when it is completely burned, it leaves behind a powdery ash. When the magnesium ribbon completely burns, it leaves a white powdery ash. So does the ash look like the magnesium ribbon? No, not at all. Even if you burn a paper at your home, when a paper is burnt, some black color ashes will be formed, right? Now the black color ashes will be same to that of the piece of paper? No, right? The properties of the piece of paper is completely different to that of the properties of the burned paper, that is the ash. It does not look similar. Okay, so does the ash look like the magnesium ribbon? No, a new substance is formed in that case. Okay, so what is the new substance? It is magnesium oxide. Clear? So the change can be represented by the following equation. This is the equation. Magnesium, the symbol of magnesium is Mg. Oxygen, the symbol of oxygen is O2. And magnesium oxide, the symbol or the formula of magnesium oxide is Mg, capital O. Okay, Mg, magnesium for Mg and oxide for O. Clear? Okay, so this equation resembles what? When magnesium burned in presence of oxygen, then it will become, or it will form what? It will form magnesium oxide, that is MgO. Clear? So this magnesium oxide, which is the compound, it appears as white powdery ash. Okay, so magnesium oxide is the new substance formed when magnesium burns in air. Clear? The burning of this magnesium ribbon is what? It is a chemical change, because here a new substance, that is magnesium oxide, is formed during this change. Okay, understood? Now they have asked you to collect the ash and mix it with a small amount of water. You have to collect the ash, you have to collect the magnesium oxide, and you have to mix it with a small amount of water. Clear? Collect the ash, right? What is this? That ash of magnesium ribbon, that is what? Magnesium. That ash is what? I told already, the powdery ash, that is magnesium oxide. You have to collect magnesium oxide, that is the ash, and we have to mix it with a small amount of water. Clear? Then you have to stir the mixture well. Okay, so a solution will be formed. A solution will be formed there. When the ash will be mixed with water, then a solution will be formed, that is aqueous solution. Now you have to taste the mixture, you have to taste the solution with blue litmus and red litmus paper. Clear? So does the mixture turn red litmus blue, or does the mixture turn blue litmus red? So on the basis of the test, how do you classify the aqueous solution, acidic or basic? See, what happens actually? On dissolving the ash in water, it forms a new substance. Okay, on dissolving, or when we dissolve magnesium oxide in water, then magnesium oxide combines with water to form a new substance, which is called magnesium hydroxide. Now, are you getting it? When we dissolve the ash, what is that ash? That is magnesium oxide. When we dissolve the magnesium oxide in water, okay, this is the formula of water, H2O, remember, it is the formula of water. Okay, you have to memorize this, you have to remember this. Okay, so on dissolving the ash in water, it forms a new substance. What is the name of that new substance? Magnesium hydroxide. And this formula of magnesium hydroxide is Mg, bracket give, OH, bracket close, and 2. This is the formula of magnesium hydroxide, which you have to memorize, which you have to know, which you have to learn. Okay, so again here a new substance is formed. A new substance is formed in this case also. What is the name of this new substance now? Magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so this magnesium hydroxide is the new substance formed during this change, and it is what is the nature of this magnesium hydroxide? It is basic in nature. That means when we dip the red litmus paper, over the solution of magnesium oxide and water, then we'll find that the color of the red litmus will be changed to blue. Okay, it will be changed to blue. Okay, which turns red litmus paper to blue. So the dissolving of magnesium oxide in water is a chemical change. Why? Because a new substance, that is magnesium hydroxide, is produced during this change. Clear? Okay, so as you have already learned in chapter number 5, magnesium hydroxide is a base, right? If you remember, magnesium hydroxide is a mild base which is used as an antacid. Are you getting it? In chapter number 5, that is in acids, bases and salts, we have discussed, right? So as to neutralize the indigestion in our body, in our stomach, we have to take some antacid. Magnesium hydroxide is one of the antacid, which is a base. Are you getting it? If you remember. So magnesium oxide is a new substance formed on burning of magnesium. On burning of magnesium ribbon, a new substance is formed, magnesium oxide, which is a chemical change. And again, when magnesium oxide is mixed with water, it will form a new substance again. What is the name of that new substance now? Magnesium hydroxide, MgOH2. So magnesium hydroxide is another new substance. Clear? So this magnesium hydroxide substance is formed by mixing magnesium oxide with water. Clear? This is the new substance again. So these all are what? Chemical change, because new substances with new properties are formed. Okay. Next, activity 6.7. Now in this activity 6.7, you have to take copper sulfate. You have to take what? Copper sulfate. Copper sulfate, which is again a chemical substance, copper sulfate. And you have to take an iron object. Okay, an iron object. Say an iron nail you can take, or say a blade you can take. So in activity 6.7, they have done this activity by using a blade. Okay. Now in activity 6.7, okay, to be demonstrated by the teacher. So dissolve about a teaspoonful of copper sulfate, which is blue in color, okay, which is blue in color, blue vitriol or Neela thota. Now you mix this copper sulfate with half a cup of water in a glass tumbler or say in a beaker. Okay, you have to mix the copper sulfate with half a glass of water or half a cup of water in a glass tumbler or in a beaker. Copper sulfate are generally blue in color. Okay, the solution, as you can see, this color, it is generally blue in color, bluish. Okay, so next what you have to do, you have to add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to the solution. You have to add what? A few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to the solution. Okay, you should get a blue colored solution, completely blue color solution. Okay, you will get a blue color solution. Save a small sample of the solution in a test tube or in a small glass bottle. You have to take, or you have to separate, or you have to take from that glass tumbler small samples of copper sulfate solution in a test tube. Okay, next drop a nail or a used shaving blade into the remaining solution. Wait for half an hour or so. Observe the color of the solution. Compare it with the color of the sample solution saved separately. Okay, so for about half an hour you will see that a green color solution will be formed. Okay, when you dip the blade over this copper sulfate solution, or when you dip an iron article over this copper sulfate solution, then the bluish color of the copper sulfate solution will be turned to greenish color. Okay, it will be turned to the greenish color. Okay, you can compare from this two, right, the color of the solutions. Okay, so what actually happened here? What actually happened here? See, do you see any change in the color of the solution? Yes, the blue color of the solution, the blue color of the copper sulfate solution is changed to green color, right? Now you have to take out the nail or the blade. Has it changed in any way? Has the blade changed? Okay, or do you notice anything or any substance over the blade? They have asked. Okay, the changes that you notice are due to the reaction between copper sulfate and iron. The changes that you notice are due to a reaction between copper sulfate and iron. So what are the substances did you take in this activity? You have taken copper sulfate. You have taken what? Copper sulfate. Then you have taken what? Iron. Right. So there is a reaction. So I repeat again, there is a reaction between copper sulfate and iron. Okay, so the change of color of the solution from blue to green is due to the formation of iron sulfate, which is a new substance. Okay, since you have taken what? Again, I am repeating it again, you have taken copper sulfate, right, which is blue in color. Okay, and you have taken what? Iron. So these two substances reacted with each other to form a new substance, which is iron sulfate, and this iron sulfate is actually green in color, which resembles in the solution. Okay, so the green color solution is due to the formation of iron sulfate. Okay, when copper sulfate and iron reacted with each other. Okay, so the color of the solution from blue to green is due to the formation of iron sulfate, which is a new substance, and the brown deposited on the iron nail is what? Copper actually, which is another new substance. Okay, they have asked you, right, in the activity only, they have asked you, is there anything formed over this blade or over this iron article? Yes, there is a deposition of brown substance. Okay, which is what? Which is copper. Okay, which is another new substance. So we can write this reaction as in this form: copper sulfate solution, which is blue in color, plus iron, they react with each other to form two new substances, that is iron sulfate solution, which is green in color, and copper, which is the brown deposit over this blade or over the iron article. Okay, so since again here two new substances are formed, right, in this reaction, what two new substances are formed, one is your iron sulfate and one is your copper. So this reaction or this activity also resembles an example of a chemical reaction or chemical change. Okay, understood? Next we'll go for activity 6.8. Okay, now in this activity you have to take vinegar. You have heard about vinegar, right? You have to take vinegar and you have to take baking soda. Okay, what are the two substances you have to take? Baking soda and vinegar. These two substances you have to take in this activity 6.8. So take about a teaspoonful of vinegar in a test tube. Okay, you have to take a teaspoonful of vinegar in a test tube. Add a pinch of baking soda to it. You would hear a hissing sound and see bubbles of a gas coming out. Okay, again I am repeating it for you. See, you have to take a vinegar in this test tube. Okay, in this test tube you have to take vinegar, right? Then no, not in this test tube, in this test tube actually. Yes, in this test tube you have to take vinegar and baking soda, as you can see here. Okay, so when baking soda and vinegar are mixed together, again I am repeating it for you, that when baking soda and vinegar are mixed together, then bubbles of gases will be formed. Bubbles of gases will be formed. And what is the name of that gas? Carbon dioxide gas. What is it? Carbon dioxide. Okay, when baking soda and vinegar are mixed together, then bubbles of carbon dioxide gas are formed, along with some other substances also. So this carbon dioxide gas is an entirely new substance, right, in this reaction. So the reaction between baking soda and vinegar is a chemical change, because it forms carbon dioxide as one of the new substance. Clear? Okay. Next, what you have to do, you have to pass this gas through freshly prepared lime water, as shown in figure 6.5. This is the lime water. Okay, this is the what? Lime water. What is lime water now? What is lime water? Lime water is again a chemical substance. That is, what is the name of that chemical substance? Calcium hydroxide. What is the name of this chemical substance, lime water? Calcium hydroxide. Okay, the formula of calcium hydroxide is Ca, capital C small a, CaOH2, calcium hydroxide. Okay, clear? So see, you have to pass the gas. What is the gas? Carbon dioxide gas through freshly prepared lime water, as shown in figure 6.5. This one. See, carbon dioxide gas is evolving from this reaction, right? So from this pipe, delivery pipe or delivery tube, you have to pass the carbon dioxide gas through the freshly prepared lime water over this solution, over this test tube. Okay, so now what happens actually? Now what happens again? There will be a change in the test tube is as follows. Okay, change in the test tube again. There will be a change in the test tube. See, vinegar plus vinegar, that is acetic acid. Vinegar contains what type of acid? Acetic acid. Okay, vinegar is an acidic substance, right? So vinegar contains an acid substance. What is the name of that acidic substance? Acetic acid. Baking soda. Baking soda contains what chemical substance? Sodium hydrogen carbonate. Baking soda contains sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, So reaction between baking soda and vinegar forms a new substance, that is carbon dioxide, with some other substances also will be present there. Okay, but remember that carbon dioxide will be formed here. Okay, now the reaction between carbon dioxide and lime water is as follows. There will be a reaction of carbon dioxide and lime water also. Carbon dioxide CO2, the formula of carbon dioxide, remember, C capital O 2. Okay, in subscript 2 will be written under O. So carbon dioxide when reacts with lime water, again I am repeating, carbon dioxide when reacting with lime water contains what? What is the name of that chemical substance of lime water? Calcium hydroxide. Okay, carbon dioxide when reacts with lime water, that is containing calcium hydroxide, it forms a chemical substance again. What is the name of that chemical substance? Calcium carbonate. And the formula of calcium carbonate is CaCO3. Capital C small a, Ca, calcium carbonate, CO3, capital C capital O, and under O 3 will be written, carbonate. Okay, CaCO3. Along with water will be formed here. Remember the formula of water is H2O. Okay, clear? So again I am repeating, when carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, calcium carbonate is formed, which makes lime water milky. Okay, this calcium carbonate will be formed, which makes what? Lime water appear milky. Okay, that means the color of this calcium carbonate is somewhat, you can think it of as a color of the milk, right? So again this reaction, this complete example is what? Of chemical change or chemical reaction. Okay, and this turning of lime water into milky is a standard test of carbon dioxide. Okay, so if someone will ask you which gas turns lime water milky, what you will say? Carbon dioxide gas turns lime water milky. Okay, that means carbon dioxide gas when react with lime water, that means calcium hydroxide, it will form a milky substance, that is calcium carbonate. Okay, clear? So you will use it in chapter 10 to show that air we breathe out is rich in carbon dioxide. Okay, we'll see this thing more in detail in chapter number 10. So in activity 6.6, 6.8, you saw that in each change one or more new substances were formed, right? In all the activities which we have discussed till now, from activity 6.6 to 6.8, 6.6, 6.7, 6.8, in all these activities one or more new substances were formed, right? In all these activities, in activity 6.6, the ash was the new substance formed when magnesium was burnt, right? What is the name of that ash? Magnesium oxide. Okay, in activity 6.7, the reaction of copper sulfate with iron produce iron sulfate and copper, right? Both of these are new substances. Okay, copper was deposited on the shaving blade of iron, right? In activity 6.8 also, vinegar and baking soda together produced what? Carbon dioxide, which again turned lime water milky. So can you name the new substance formed in this reaction? Again I told you, right? What is the new substance? Lime water turned milky. Which turned lime water milky? What is the name of that milky substance? What is the name of that milky compound? What is the name of that milky solution? It is calcium carbonate. It is calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Clear? Okay. So thus, what is a chemical change? A change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. Okay, a change in which one or more new substances are formed. Okay, one new substances can also be formed, or more than one new substances can also be formed. So what type of change is it? It is chemical change, and a chemical change is also called as a chemical reaction. Remember, chemical change is also called as what? Chemical reaction. Okay, so with this I'll conclude my video today. It is all over 29 minutes, right? It's a very long video then. This will be part 1 video for this chemical reaction or chemical change. Part 2 video I will continue from this section. From this section I will continue, okay, in the next video. So with this I'll conclude my video today. Well, I will conclude my topic today, chemical change. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.